Straight ahead on 12 News Weekend, seniors in New Hope concerned about rent going up. It's a concern shared across the Twin Cities.
We're seeing rents increasing and the incomes of many people not increasing.
Plus, a big change could be coming to Crystal. It would impact people trying to sell their homes. But first, police departments across the country are closely following a new crime-fighting initiative tested by Brooklyn Park Police.
What we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish is to empower the residents.
12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on 12 News Weekend. I'm Shannon Slatton.
And I'm Delane Cleveland. There's a new initiative in Brooklyn Park aimed at reducing crime, and police departments across the country are watching to see if it works.
As Cassie Bonstrom explains, the initiative zeroes in on problem areas all the way down to specific streets. Officer Joe Hader has worked all over the city in his 10 years with Brooklyn Park Police.
Identify crimes and stuff in the area.
But now he'll be spending a bit more time near County Road 81 and 71st Avenue North.
Jerry, I'm Joe Hader with Brooklyn Park Police.
He's one of the officers taking part in the city's new initiative called Assets Coming Together to Take Action, otherwise known as ACT. Launched this month, Brooklyn Park is the first department in the country to try it out.
Targeting hotspots, but at a micro level.
Inspector Bill Barrett says hotspot policing, where they channel resources into problem areas, has been around for decades.
We are really good at hotspots policing.
The ACT model, however, goes a step further, looking at specific streets where crime rates are highest.
Brooklyn Park has approximately 3,100 street segments in our city. And when you think of 3,100, that's a big number. But if I was to tell you that 2.9% of those 3,100 street segments equal 50% of our crime. Consistently.
Out of those 90 or so biggest problem streets, officers are targeting 21 of them, making an active effort to connect with residents, apartment managers, and business owners in the areas.
It's the consistency, it's the sustainability that they're there, not only when crime is present, when crime is not present. Engaging with the kids, meeting with the parents.
Barrett says this model also differs because the relationships are meant to be long-term. It's not just at annual events, and the cops won't leave when crime rates drop.
We are building genuine relationships with residents who live in these high crime areas. Not for 2 weeks, not for a month, for at least a year.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News. Interestingly, Inspector Barrett says they expect levels of crime to spike at first simply because more residents feel comfortable calling 911. A big change under consideration in Crystal would affect residents trying to sell their house.
The city is considering a repeal of so-called point-of-sale inspections. Crystal began requiring point-of-sale inspections in 1991 as a way to maintain its housing stock. If inspectors found code violations, repairs would have to be made for a sale to go through. Some realtors feel the inspections are unnecessary because many buyers pay for their own inspections. However, supporters say they do make a difference, especially in cities like Crystal that have an older housing stock.
I'm scared about the long-term effects of this and what may happen to our city in not requiring certain work orders and things to be done to a house that we may see standards of our housing stock get lower and lower.
This is a big deal for a lot of residents. This was one of the biggest topics when I was going door to door. This point of sale inspections, a lot of people were having problems with it.
The first reading to repeal the ordinance was approved 5-1. A final vote is expected August 18th. If Crystal approves repealing point of sale inspections, it would be the latest city to do so. Brooklyn Park repealed them in 2013. Cities that require them include New Hope, Robbinsdale, and Osseo. Golden Valley requires a sanitary sewer inspection before a home is sold.
A City of Minneapolis employee is the top choice to be the next city manager of Brooklyn Park. The City Council extended an offer to the Deputy City Coordinator of Minneapolis, Jay Strobel, and Strobel verbally accepted. Strobel also previously worked for the state and has experience working with diverse populations.
One thing he's going to bring is some really more operational experience. He really talks about results management, which is performance metrics, so we can start to look at how our city, make sure taxpayer money is used and get it used correctly.
If contract negotiations go smoothly, Strobel is expected to start the job in September. And Robbinsdale schools also selected a new leader this week. In a unanimous decision, the board chose Dr. Carlton Jenkins, who currently works for Atlanta, Georgia Public Schools. Jenkins has experience bridging achievement gaps and is credited with increasing graduation rates by 14% in one of his previous districts. He's expected to begin work in mid-August.
In our week in review, the Anoka Hennepin School Board has decided against going to voters this fall to ask for more funding. It's a decision that could mean budget cuts for the 2016-2017 school year. The board decided against putting a levy referendum on the ballot in November because of the very short time frame to garner support and come up with a list of recommended cuts. Without a levy, the cuts could range between $4 and $6 million. The State Patrol is cracking down on speeders along the I-494 work zone. State officials say the number of crashes has doubled there from this time last year. Troopers will be looking for speeders and drivers not keeping a safe distance from the car in front of them, all in an effort to reduce the number of work zone crashes. And in Golden Valley, engineers are taking a unique approach to clean up a polluted lake. Sweeney Lake is on the state's impaired water list because of phosphorus that flows into the lake. The phosphorus promotes algae growth. Engineers will start installing a big underwater curtain in a pond upstream. The curtain is designed to change the water flow and help trap more pollution. A local lawmaker passed a major milestone this week.
DFLer Lyndon Carlson is now tied with Phyllis Kahn of Minneapolis as the longest-serving members in the history of the Minnesota House of Representatives.
We sat at our picnic table and wrote out a press release that I was interested in running for office, and I would have never guessed that 43 years later I would be sitting here as the most senior member.
Carlson says in the years since he's taken office, he's witnessed many changes, from the facilities at the Capitol to the development of research teams available to lawmakers. Even though he's served in office since 1973, Carlson says he has no plans to retire anytime soon. He will run for re-election next year. Coming up on 12 News Weekend, a future elementary school in the Wayzata district gets a new name, and we'll tell you what it is.
Then later in sports, we'll catch up with a Wayzata High School graduate skating toward a possible future with the pros in St. Paul.
But first, hot summer weather is sticking around with temperatures hovering around 90 through midweek. A new school under construction in the Wayzata district now has a name. The school board selected Meadow Ridge Elementary as the name for the district's 8th elementary school, which is located in the northwest corner of the city. The name choice was unanimous. More than 1,300 names were originally submitted. Residents of a New Hope senior living community will soon pay more for rent.
Residents at Northridge Independent Living say their rent is going up by more than 20%, and their story is not unique in the Twin Cities. Along Boone Avenue in New Hope sits the sprawling campus of Northridge Independent Living. It's home to 124 apartments for adults age 55 and older. And coming September 1st, it'll cost more for those seniors to live there. $1,650 a month for a one-bedroom and $1,900 for a two-bedroom.
We're seeing rents increasing and the incomes of many people not increasing, and that certainly holds for the senior population.
Chip Hallbach is executive director of the Minnesota Housing Partnership.
If you're living off Social Security, you really can't afford more than $400 for rent, so that's way off the mark of what's being developed now.
He says that for the growing population of senior citizens, finding housing that's affordable will continue to be a problem unless the state and charities step in to help.
We're hoping that in the coming legislative session that there will be some initiatives out there that the state can get behind.
There won't be any initiatives to help lower the rent at Northridge. Apartment officials say it's a move that has to be done due to rising costs associated with providing services and amenities. An all too familiar story for Minnesota's seniors that, if anything, highlights the issue that Chip Hallbach wants people to acknowledge.
The sympathy is there, and now it requires the action.
Officials from Northridge say that even with the rent increases, their rates are still well below the market rate for facilities with similar amenities. Northridge residents, meanwhile, are hoping apartment management reconsiders its decision. Coming up, what a Plymouth couple says is key to a good garden.
But first, a young basketball coach is taking the reins at his alma mater. That story is coming up next in sports with John Jacobson.
Welcome back. John's here now with sports, and it might be the middle of July, but we're talking hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. Never too early to talk hockey, right? Especially for those people who are hoping to make a living in it. Former Wayzata hockey standout Mario Lucia of Plymouth was in town this week, getting a taste of what he hopes to be his next step in hockey. Jay Wilcox reports.
It's a taste of pro hockey while he's still in college. Mario Lucia is skating at the Minnesota Wild Development Camp before beginning his senior season at Notre Dame. This is action from a weekend open to the public scrimmage.
Oh, it's been good. I thought today went well for me. I thought I was playing fast, moving the puck, moving my feet. Passed on a couple of shots that I should have taken, but overall, the experience has been good. I mean, it's good to come in and meet some players and put names with faces from guys they've drafted and the guys that are in our system, and then just make a good first impression on the coaching staff and the organization of the Minnesota Wild.
Lucia was a second-round pick of the Wild back in 2011 when he was still in high school. It's a different feel coming back to development camp as a soon-to-be 22-year-old compared to that first one.
So it's obviously a big change. I came in, as a junior in high school, going into a senior year, and it's a big jump. It's been 5 years since then, and I feel like I'm more confident coming in and make a big impact while I'm here and be a leader.
Mario definitely wants to play pro hockey, but also enjoys college and hasn't been in a hurry to take the next step.
Professional hockey is always going to be there. You only get 4 years of college, and your senior year is probably one of the best years of your life, most people say. So it's part of that, and then going in and wanting to make some history at Notre Dame, whether it's winning a national championship, winning a Hockey East championship.
The business side of things will come after he finishes his Notre Dame career. Mario Lucia is hoping his chance will come with the Wild. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
Thanks, Jay. Not so long ago, Marcus Hill was one of the top high school basketball players in the area. Now the Brooklyn Park native is taking over at head coach at his alma mater, Breck. Hill is using this summer to get to know his players better and work with them on skill development. He graduated from Breck in 2007 and led the Mustangs to a state class 2A runner-up finish as a junior. He played in college at Minnesota State Mankato and had stints in the NBA Development League and in Mexico. He's excited for this chance.
Honestly, it's a dream come true. To come back to my school where I played, I graduated from, and had a lot of success when I was here as a player, and coming here as a coach, it's obviously a dream come true. I finished playing professional basketball last couple years and decided what I was going to do after basketball, and the first thing that came to my mind was to coach.
Hill was an assistant for Breck last year, working with two veteran coaches in Rick Webb and Bob Erdman. Now at 26 years old, he's taking the reins.
I had to learn a lot, and I had to learn quickly. I had a great coaching staff with Coach Webb and Coach Erdman, Hall of Fame coach, and for them to take me under their wing and show me things and guide me, and now that I'm kind of taking over the program, it's one of those things that it's just a dream come true, and I just want to take full advantage of this opportunity and want to thank Breck for giving me this opportunity at such a young age, being a young coach.
Marcus has been teaching in the Anoka Hennepin district, but he hopes to teach at Breck in the future. The 96-team Gopher Classic American Legion baseball tournament is the largest of its kind in the nation. One local team advanced to the tournament semifinals by winning 6 of their first 7 games. Wayzata Post 118 facing Creighton Prep of Nebraska in the semis. First inning, Creighton gets on the board first. Brandon Bina ripping a shot to the fence and left. Lucas Ripa around to score from first, and it's 1-0 after 1. Third inning, Wayzata with the bases loaded, with a bouncer back to the pitcher, ends the inning. Wayzata down 4-0 through 3. Wayzata does pick up a run in the 4th. Jake Marsh grounds to short. Creighton gets the out at first base, but Connor Olson scores on the play to make it 4-1. That's the only run they get, though. Creighton keeps the sticks going. Craig Petrich dumping a single in the center field to score Bina. Creighton Prep wins 8-1. They later beat Woodbury and won the Gopher Classic Championship. Big tournament, and now sub-state play in Legion Baseball starts this coming week.
All right, you're staying busy.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. Up next, we go in the garden to discover how to keep the bugs away without using chemicals.
And a Plymouth couple has spent decades learning all the tricks. That's next on 12 News Weekend. There is nothing like fresh vegetables and fruits out of the garden.
That's right. This weekend, a Plymouth couple gives us the dirt on growing organically. Reporter Sonia Goins goes in the garden to show us their environmentally friendly garden.
Well, it's good exercise and it's pretty and I just love being outside.
Barb and Roy Heinrich have been gardening for more than 40 years.
The garden has gone crazy this year. It's very happy.
They spend at least an hour each day in the garden.
He does the heavy stuff.
Then she just says, get the shovel, and she'll point, and that's where I dig.
They say organic is the way to go.
Yeah, I don't put anything on my vegetables. I like to have more natural, native plants.
Their backyard retreat features many different vegetables, fruits, and flowers.
A row of beans, beet, a row of carrots, kohlrabi, second planting of green beans, Brussels sprouts, the peppers.
They say the key to a good garden is good soil. They have 2 compost bins for fertilizer.
What you try to do is you try to layer it with brown material, green material, and build up layers. And when you start out, the bin is full. And as the nature does its thing, it goes down, and you end up with about a half a bin.
To keep invasive insects like the Japanese beetle off their plants,
They don't fly well, so you just go like this, and they drop into the bucket.
they use plain old soap and water.
Rather than using poison and that.
3 apple trees are in the center of the garden. They say pruning will reap bigger, better fruit.
In clusters like this, we'll take the 2 cripples out to allow these to do better.
The Heinrichs also have a cherry tree that's hardy for Minnesota.
I picked over a 5-gallon bucket full off of that tree.
They say the best part of growing a garden is reaping the fruits of your labor.
They turn into pie, and that takes care of a lot of problems, is a good big piece of pie.
And of course, sharing your bounty with your family and friends.
Whoever answers the door gets a handful, you know.
For In the Garden, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
So we're all going over to their house. Now the couple says the easiest vegetables to plant are beets. Roy says you can pretty much ignore them until they're ready in late summer or early fall. So maybe that's my issue.
That's
I
my
don't
kind of
plant
plant, yeah.
beets. I plant things that are too fussy, I guess.
I'm just really craving cherry pie right now. That looked delicious.
Apparently all we have to do is knock on the door.
You know,
So
Sonia, if you're watching this, make sure that you have them come on over here.
There you go. Very good. That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Have a nice weekend. We'll see you again on Monday at 4.